Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic. Serious, what is it like to have children you don't want? Attention. Serious, tag notice. Jokes, puns, and off-topic comments are not permitted in any comment, parent or child. Parent comments that aren't from the target group will be removed, along with their child replies. Report comments that violate these rules. Posts that have few relevant answers within the first hour, and posts that are not appropriate for the serious tag will be removed. Consider doing a NOMA request instead. Thanks for your cooperation and enjoy the discussion. I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit if you have any questions or concerns. I can tell you what it's like being the unwanted child. I went to the dentist once in my first 17 years. I had broken my nose twice and I just had to walk it off. I never saw a doctor. I would get yelled at if my shoes wore out too quick and they were Payless $19.99 shoes. As soon as was able to drive, the dinner table was only set for 2 instead of 3 because I could get my own food now. My lunch was a bologna white bread sandwich and an apple for 10 years straight. Fast forward, I moved in with my grandma. She said she would help out with college if I helped out around the house. First few months she got me in, the dentist fixed all my teeth and I got some braces on. Second, I was a mouth breather, so I went to a plastic surgeon, fixed my deviated septum right up. She also co-signed on a car loan so I could get around. She embraced every friend that came to the house. While growing my up, friends hid from my dad because he was so mean. My grandma noticed that I would get home and run to my room, and one day she told me I don't have to hide in there, I can hang out wherever I want. That's the difference between being a burden and being wanted. Your grandma sounds like a wonderful person. She really does. I know someone who was diagnosed with MS and had 5 kids because each pregnancy her MS got better. She was a terrible mother. No involvement with her kids. Imagine growing up and at some point you figure out you were a medical treatment your mother was using to not have MS episodes. How does pregnancy help MS exactly? I'm pretty sure that it's because MS is an autoimmune disease. When you're pregnant, your body's immune response drops, so you don't boot the baby, and it will ease the flares. Edit typo. I have custody of my brother's kids. I didn't want them. I already have one of my own. My brother's kids are not as well behaved as my children. It is very frustrating. I love them. I will protect them and take care of them. I find myself very upset by the fact that I just can't seem to love them as much as my children. It's depressing. I hate myself because I feel this way. I wish it was just my children a lot of the times. My brother's kids put a strain on my marital relationship, because they act out so much. My brother is homeless and addicted to drugs, with really no hope of him getting better. Heroin sucks. I just wish it would go back to a family of 3. 7 is just too much for most things. Want a regular-sized vehicle with smaller monthly payments and lower insurance. Nope, gotta have something that seats 7 or more. Holidays. Gotta plan on a family size of 7 instead of 3. It's frustrating. I try so hard to not let my nieces and nephews see that I struggle with this. But kids are smart and I know they pick up on this. I hate that I can't just be happy with this. At least for their sake. Can't talk to family about it. I'm this hero who took the kids so they wouldn't end up in foster care or group homes. But I'm really not a hero. I stepped up because no one else would, but I don't think I'm cut out for it. Edit. Thank you to everyone who responded with kind words. I didn't expect this to get so much attention. I saw an opportunity to vent and so I took it. I have had these kids for almost 7 years now. I love them and I will see this through until they are grown and on their own. I don't know any of you, but your kind words help. Thank you so much. Edit 2, for anyone wondering why I made a throwaway account for this post. My nephews and my son both have Reddit. They know my Reddit name and if they saw this I would absolutely die inside. Edit, this post is getting a lot of attention. Had to change some details to remain anonymous. Hey, that is an incredible and selfless thing you are doing. I don't believe your feelings are your fault or even that they are wrong. I do think you should maybe talk to an experienced family therapist. They may be able to help both you and your sister's children. You're making the best of a bad situation, don't beat yourself up because you're not perfect. Hang in there. A hero is someone who steps up when others don't. What you have done is amazing and I don't hand out praise often. Your kids won't resent you, they will understand with time. Your sister's kids will see what you have done for them in time. If you have any family who can support you, then reach out. 4 kids is a heavy weight and you cannot let your quality of life drop. Keep your marriage safe, your children safe, and do your best with your sister's kids. As for their behavior, you will want to get them in line with your kids, obviously through discipline, but they will always have the idea that their mom picked something else over them in their minds and could behave worse before they behave better. My mom just forgot we existed and had another baby to keep her happy. I have 10 siblings. I weirdly know a number of women who've done this, kept having babies because they like babies, without regard to their ability to care for an entire child for years and years in the future. I'm sorry you were raised that way, it's abuse. I'm the oldest of 6, and my mom was raised in a religious cult that glorified large families, so she planned it that way even though her mental health wasn't that strong. I'm in my 30s and just starting to notice that some of the stuff from my childhood wasn't okay, or wasn't how things should be. This explains my mom even though she does not want to admit it. Well, you made me realize why she kept having kids. I am the oldest of 12. Moved out ASAP so I won't raise any more of her kids. Edit, thanks to a kind Redditor for correcting my English. I grew up #8 of 9 kids. My oldest sister was responsible for raising each and every one of us. To this day she resents our mom for stealing her childhood. My sister has told us stories where as newborns we'd cry and my mom refused to get up and get us. She waited until my sister, who was a full-time student, to get up and take care of us while my mom just continued to lay in bed. My mom knew she could continue to collect welfare as long as she had children in the house, so she prolonged her welfare dependence by having so many children. That's just messed up. Your sister sounds like a great person. She very well could have resented all of you guys for her childhood, but she didn't, cause it wasn't your fault. At least I think she doesn't. I hope your sister escaped and is leading the life she wants. Whenever I hear about my students with 5+ siblings, I worry about them. Some people can live and care for that many kids, but a lot just have several kids so they babysit, do chores, etc. I feel like abuse and neglect risk is higher when in large families. I had a student with 13 siblings. He wasn't the oldest, but he was the oldest child in the household. He was responsible for his siblings getting them to school, making sure they're fed, etc. He barely graduated high school. Parentification is abuse. I just wish we could do more about it. I have kids and I wanted them. But I was an unwanted kid. My mom and non-bio dad married when I was young. He raised me, but I never felt love from him at all. He married her to get her out of a bad situation. I thought he didn't want kids, but when I was about 5/6, my sister was born. He wanted kids. He just didn't want me. I saw how different he was with her, and his other kids they had later. Those who have kids that you don't want, they're aware on some level. I was the literal red-headed stepchild. My mother married him when I was 4 years old. I'd get hit, locked in my room, and just assumed this was normal dad stuff. My brother was born when I was 8 years old. It killed me to note the difference. My primary function became almost full-time nanny for him and later my sister. I remember getting beat because I wasn't doing a good job potty training brother. The state removed me from the home after I was almost beat to death by him. Fuck that guy, he died miserably of liver cancer. My mother never left him. Every now and then well-meaning aunties tell me I'll regret not being close to my mother, and I just kind of laugh. I made myself, without her, no need to try to wedge her back into my life. As someone with a bad mother-daughter relationship, I can preach you will never regret walking away from that situation. You might have regrets it couldn't have been better, but that's not something you have any control over. You were a child. Don't let people who have no understanding of the situation guilt you. You deserve your peace, it was hard-earned. I feel this hard. My parents divorced before I was 1. My dad likes to go on all my problems are from sex addiction. Nothing's my fault rants since I was like fucking 7. My mom loved me until I hit about 8 to 9 and she got distant and wanted another kid, but didn't remarry or anything. So she adopted. Suddenly I had no mom. I had 2 pairs of pants and 4 shirts, a ratty old jacket, and ratty old shoes. While my sister, at 2, had clothes bursting in -3 closets of the house. I was bullied a lot for it. It stayed like that. The day she got the kid she wanted without baggage, I didn't exist. She paid for my sister's braces, but not mine. She paid for acne medicine for my sister, not me, and the other day went on a "can you imagine having nothing but soap and water" tangent. Yeah, I can bitch. She takes my sister on vacation every year, but not me. When we were kids, and now as adults. Usually over my birthday. They usually take a cruise for a week covering my birthday. Occasionally they forget my birthday. Most years as a kid I asked for family time together, never happened. Funny enough, we both need a rare coel surgery. She always said there was no money to help me. Guess who she's paying for when she found out she had it? Having toxic parents is so hard. So much becomes normalized. I still love my mom a lot, and routinely sacrifice for her. I don't think she'd mourn me. It all got worse when I came out. My grandma started calling me slurs, and blames me for my sister liking her less over it. If I could have anything in the world, it'd be family that loves me. I'd give up anything to have people who give a shit about me. I felt my face burn. Felt naval surgeons cut into my face while awake. I've been through violent death, conflict, and violent rape. Cakewalks next to a family who doesn't love you back. Well, better ask someone to hold on to my firearm, cause that opened some old wounds. I'm surprised you haven't cut contact with all of them at this point. Jesus Christ, they're toxic AF.